What's up, y'all? I'm Adrian.
Hey, I'm Carlin.
And we are
The Marriage Talk.
And we got a conversation that we continuing today. What are we talking about, Sunshine?
So today we are continuing the conversation of what a covered home looks like. When you have a man or husband who is covering his home, his wife, his children, what that looks like.
So, what does a household with a husband that's covering the household and the marriage, what does that look like?
Okay, so it looks like a household that the man has covered spiritually, physically, financially, and emotionally. I mean, there are different facets and a lot of different elements to this covering. Because I've heard men say, well, you know, I bought this and so the bills are paid, so that's it. Oh no, it's a lot more to covering your household, man. So I'm going to start for a moment just talking about the spiritual aspect of covering.
Can I inject 1 second?
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought that this was just an old school mentality, but I still hear even younger people, I guess the older generation passed this down to the younger generation, that just because I go to work and pay the bills and, everything should be okay and I'm providing financially, but a household, a marriage, a family is much more than just providing some money and paying some bills. It's
right.
a lot deeper than that, y'all.
It's a lot deeper than that. So spiritually, I should be able to go to my husband, who is the covering of our home. I should be able to get a word from God, a word about God. I shouldn't have to wait till I go to church to ask the pastor something if I have a question that's spiritual. Even if he doesn't know it, then he should be either consulting God or consulting the Bible to get the answer.
The pastor is not there to be motivating and encouraging somebody else's wife or somebody else's family concerning God or about situations that's going on in the world. The pastor's duty is only there to help give you a word, not the
word for your home.
So his encouragement shouldn't be the only encouragement
right.
and the only spiritual link that you have in your life. If the only spiritual link that you have in your life is your church or your pastor, listen, I hate to even say this,
don't say it.
Don't say it.
Don't say it. Just know, being that you are to be the spiritual covering for you, and you are the first spiritual covering for your home, not the pastor.
Colin, I gotta say it.
Okay, so
I got to.
Go ahead.
If that's the only spiritual link in your house, you're probably not a part of a church. You are probably part of a cult. Is what you're probably a part of. I gotta say that.
We said we're gonna soften this up. We're not soft.
That's soft.
It's not soft.
That is soft, Colin. So my question to you now is, we talked about what it looks like when a household is covered by a man. What does it look like when a household is not covered by a man?
So I want to speak to the fact of having the man there, not a single family home. I want to speak to the idea of the man is there, but he's not covering his home because he's not taking on the leadership responsibilities in the area of physical, emotional, financial, and spiritual. Okay? Can I go there? So if a home is uncovered, the man is there, but either he doesn't understand or he's not doing what he's supposed to do in that area, then you have a burdened down woman. You have a worried woman. You have a woman that's not covered spiritually, and so that when she goes to her husband for something, he doesn't have anything to give her. He doesn't have that spiritual grounding. He doesn't have that conversation that's based on the word of God. He doesn't have it. And so he's going to give her something worldly, some type of worldly advice. We talked about this earlier. We were talking about if a situation comes up and I'm upset about what's going on at work, and I say to you, and I was mistreated, and a man that's of the world is gonna look at you and be like, well, what did you do? Well, did you go off? Well, did you cuss him out? You should have cussed him out. But a man is grounded in God. Yes. And a man is grounded in Jesus Christ will look at you and say, you know what, we're going to pray about this.
Right.
What was your response? You make sure that you have the right response, and you make sure that you trust in the Lord and that your faith is in God. And so a woman that is in a relationship or in a marriage with a husband that is not the spiritual leader of the house, she's getting all kind of worldly advice.
Oh, my God. Can I say one thing?
You can say something.
Finally, I can say something. Listen, y'all, the reason why it's so important is because what I do directly affects my wife and affects my family.
Yes, it does.
What my wife does directly affects me and affects our family and affects our blessings.
That's right.
If my wife is not obeying God, then that's going to put a roadblock in front of our blessings. God. If I go and do some things within my family then that's going to put a roadblock on our blessings, and it may even curse my entire family.
Ooh.
So one person cannot be just going out doing something
That's right.
and thinking that, hey, nobody else is going to be affected by it. I'm grown. I can do what I want to do.
No.
You know, I'm taking care of my business. Don't nobody tell me what to do. Yes, there is somebody that you're accountable to. It's not just God either. It's your spouse.
That's right.
You are accountable to your spouse and to your entire family.
That's right.
Come on, y'all.
That's good. Wow. I'm glad you pointed that out, because that goes into being unequally yoked.
Yes.
We're not supposed to be yoked up with people, partnered together, mating, and all these different things with people that we're not equally
Lord, have
yoked
mercy.
with.
Jesus Christ.
And so we have to be very careful with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a home that is not covered by the man spiritually. I just talked about that. By that's not covered financially. So then here you have a worried woman. She's burdened down. Now, again, I want to make sure that this is in the right context. This is not, hey, you guys are going through a rough patch.
Mm-mm.
No, because you're going to have that sometimes.
Right.
This is not, hey, we're going through a season of financial difficulty. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about, we've been married 22 years. If 20 years of the 22 years, I'm concerned about bills and worried and stressed out because he won't keep a job, because he would rather play video games all day, because he takes his money and he gambles it up, because he takes his money and he gives it to other women, because he takes his money and he smokes it up.
You don't want me to get no other women? No,
Don't
money?
do that. That would be a problem. Because he takes his money and he doesn't do the things that we need in the household, then that's going to be a burdened down, stressed out woman.
Yeah, lady.
And if I'm the help, why am I burdened like that?
Right.
If
So-
I'm to assist, why am I burdened to
Right.
that? A lot of the burden is supposed to be on him.
Right. So men, let's don't pay no other women's bills, y'all. Let's don't do that. Let's don't take all our money and gamble it up
Let's not
at
do
the
that.
casino and buy lottery tickets
No.
and scratch off tickets.
No, not all
Let's
day.
not have a whole bunch of other habits.
That's right.
Like drinking and smoking and other stuff that's going to keep us from providing what we should be
Right.
providing in our family.
Right.
Let's don't do that, y'all.
That's right. Physically, you are the leader physically in the home. Again, if somebody comes in the home at night and they're not supposed to be there, some type of
my
trespasser,
God.
I'm not getting up. I'm not. I'm going to shut the door and push you out probably and let you handle it,
Lord,
because
have
you are the
mercy.
spirit. You are the physical covering for our home.
Yes.
And that just means in so many different ways. And then you have the emotional covering for the home.
What about mental health?
That's where I'm going.
Okay.
That's where I'm going when you talk about emotional covering. If I can't come to you for some type of support,
Mm.
a woman that is not covered, the man is there. I mean, he's there. The body is there, but he's not providing the emotional leadership that we need, because life is not easy. Life gets hard sometimes. I have to be able to lean on you for support. I have to
Yes.
be able to give you, take this here, and you shoulder it and bear the burden sometimes. I have to be able to do that as a woman. And so a woman that doesn't have that, she's stressed out again, she's worried, she's overwhelmed.
Mm. Yes.
And it's just too much.
That's a lot.
It's too much.
So I mean, we've got to be able to be some type of stability for our families, for our wives. We've got to have some substance, y'all. When situations happen, and they do. I mean, every day is not going to be an up day. Every day you're not going to be happy-go-lucky. There's too many things that are going to be fighting against you in this world. So we have to find something that we can stand on, y'all. And Jesus Christ is that rock that we are standing on. So what I'm telling you today is to stand on Jesus. He is what's going to keep us standing, y'all.
I also want to say this final thought before we end this. I want to talk about the fact that the leader of the home is a doer and not just a talker.
Mm.
He's a man that is of his word. So when he tells his wife he's going to do something, he's going to do it. Now, he might not get to it right then, but he's going to do it. She doesn't have to continually say it over and over again. Are you going to pay this bill? Are you going to pay this bill? Are you going to call these people? Are you going to see about this? She said it. She might have to remind him, but he's going to take care of business. And so that burden is off of her, because his outlook is what's best for the family.
Right.
And so I just wanted to give those parting words, that a man that has embraced his role as leader of the home is one that is a doer and not just a talker.
Not just a talker.
He's about his business.
That makes sense, y'all. Y'all got that? Okay, until next time, y'all be blessed.